Welcome to Christy Martin Yoga. Today we're going to start in table. So make your way so that your wrists are right underneath your shoulders and your knees are directly underneath your hips. Let's warm the spine with cat dog or cat cow. So as you inhale, lift the tailbone, lower the belly, lift the head. Exhale, tilt the tailbone down, arch the back, lower the head. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lower the belly, lift the head. And then exhale, lower the tailbone, arch the back, lower the head. With each inhale, as you lift the tailbone and the head, try to deepen the breath. And then as you exhale, hug the belly button into the spine and see if you can release any residual air out of the lungs. Continuing to move at your pace and with your breath. And then come to a neutral spine, extend through the right leg. I want you to stabilize your lower back, so hug the belly button in and up, and then press through your right leg as if you're pressing your foot onto a wall behind you. Good, and then cross the foot over, placing the foot on the floor, looking over your left shoulder, and invite your breath into your right side body. Good, and then come back through center, place the knee on the floor, and then extend through your left leg. Square the hips, extend through that left leg as if you're pressing on a wall behind you. Good, and then cross the foot over, place the foot on the floor, looking over your right shoulder, maybe looking back at your foot, and invite the breath into the left side body. Good, come back through center, place the knee on the floor, and let's thread the needle. So take your right arm, reach it up, and then as you exhale, slide the arm through, coming down onto your shoulder, and then lower the head. If you'd like, you can reach your left arm straight up. Good, and then bring the hand down, unthread your needle. Come up through table, and then over to the other side. So let's take that left arm, reach it up, and then as you exhale, slide the arm through. Come down onto your shoulder, lower the head. And if you'd like, you can take your right arm and reach it straight up. Good, bring the hand down, unthread the needle, and let's step into a lunge. So take your right foot in between your hands, maybe come up onto the pads of your fingers. Notice that your knee stacks right on top of the ankle. Tuck the back toes under and lift the back knee off the floor. Allow the hips to sink or soften. Good, now place that knee, the back knee down on the floor, flatten your foot, and then allow the left hand to stay on the floor. Take the right hand to the hip as you twist across the body. If you'd like, you can take your right arm straight up, maybe wiggling the fingers. And then untwist, straighten your front leg and reach the toes straight up or maybe back towards the face. You can hug this right kneecap up by engaging the quads as you fold forward. Good, now press the toes to the floor or the earth. Bend the knee and move into crescent. So bring the arms straight up overhead. Point the thumbs behind you and gently hug the front foot and the back knee towards each other. And notice if this allows you to feel as if you're stabilizing the pelvis a little bit. If this is too much on your shoulders, you can bring your hands to your hips. Good, now take that right hand to the hip, left arm reaches up and over. And then coming back up through center, twisting across the body to the right. So you can take your left hand to the outside of your front knee, or you can bring your hands to the heart center. Good, untwist and come to extended child's pose. So sit the buttocks back towards the heels and reach the arms strong out in front of you. This is actually how you find your hand placement for downward facing dog. So activate the hands, spread the fingers wide, pressing into the pads of the fingers, slide up through table. You'll notice your wrists are ahead of your shoulders a little. Tuck the toes under, and then lift the hips up towards the sky. You can gently bend one knee at a time, pedaling out the feet. Or maybe bending both knees as you drop the chest towards the thighs a little deeper. And then release, bring the knees to the floor. And let's work the other side. So step the left foot forward. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. You're pressing through the back heel as you allow the hips to sink. Great, now drop the back knee to the floor. Keep the right hand on the floor. Take the left hand to the hip as you twist across the body. And if you'd like, you can take that left hand and reach it straight up. Maybe wiggling the fingers. And then untwist, straighten your front leg, pulling the toes back, maybe trying to allow them to point more towards your face as you fold over this front leg. Again, you can hug the quad or hug the kneecap up by engaging the quadricep muscles as you fold over. And then we're going to press the toes towards the earth or towards the floor, bend the front knee and come up to crescent. Again, hugging that front foot and back knee towards each other to stabilize the pelvis. And the thumbs are pointing back behind you. This is actually internal rotation of the arms. Take the left hand to the hip and reach that right arm up and over. And then come back up, twisting across the body. So take that right arm to the outside of the front knee, or coming to Anjali Mudra by bringing the hands to the heart center. Good, untwist. Coming back to extended child's pose. And then finding your way up to downward facing dog. Knowing that you can come to child's pose at any time. And as you're in downward facing dog, noticing that your hands are active. So you're pressing into the pads of the fingers. You can bend your knees as you allow the chest to drop towards the thighs. Good, and then come back to table. And again, extend your right leg straight out behind you. Level the hips. Imagine you're pressing against the wall behind you. And then take this right leg straight out to the right. And then bring it back 2 more times. 1 and 2. Extending the leg out behind you. Keeping the leg extended out behind you. Find a drishti or a focal point. And if you would like, you can extend through the left arm for balancing of the cat. You can stay here, or you can bend the right knee, reaching for the ankle. And as you press the foot into the hand, you can add a bind or a gentle twist. And then releasing back to table. And moving through cat, cow, or cat, dog again. And then over to the other side. So extend through the left leg. Imagine that you're pressing against the wall behind you, activating the leg. The hips are square. And then taking that left leg straight out to the left. And then back to center. 2 more times. 1 and 2. Keeping the leg behind you, extending. Find your drishti or your focal point and then extend through your right arm. Good. If you would like to add the bind, you would bend your left knee, reaching back. And as you press the foot into the hand, it adds a gentle twist. Good. And then coming back to table. Walk your hands forward just slightly. Hug the belly button in and up as you slowly lower down through modified chaturanga. So hover over the floor briefly and then come down all the way onto your belly. Align the spine, lift one arm and the opposite leg. And then bring the hands underneath the shoulders for baby cobra. I would like for you to stabilize your lower back. So lengthen the tailbone towards the heels. And then as you inhale, lift the chest and the hands off the floor. Don't forget to breathe. And then on your next exhale, slowly lower down. Slide the hands beside the body, palms face down. Maybe walk the hands under the thighs just a little bit. So like maybe it's just your pinky that's under the thigh. Again, stabilize the lower back, lengthen the tailbone towards the heels, or press the pubic bone onto the floor, and then extend through the right leg. So you're reaching and then lifting from the back of the right thigh. Your left leg is just an anchor, so you're not actively pressing with the left leg. All of the work is happening in the right leg. Extend as you lower down and take a moment to completely soften and rest. Notice if one leg feels a little longer than the other. And then to the other side, stabilize the lower back and then extend through the left leg. So reach the leg long behind you and then lift from the back of the left thigh. Remembering now that it's the right leg that's the anchor. There's no active pressing with the right leg. All of this activity is concentrated in the left leg. Lengthening and lifting. Good, and then on your next exhale, slowly lower the leg down and turn your head to one side, maybe noticing if both legs feel equal in length. Some people like to rock their hips side to side. And then let's move into Sphinx. So come up onto your elbows. Stabilize the lower back. Good, you're lengthening the tailbone towards the heels. And now I want you to isometrically pull the forearm back as you pull the chest and the heart forward. As you're in this gentle back bend, notice where the breath falls and see if you can deepen the breath. Good, and then as you release, take the forehead to the floor, slide the hands beside the body, palms face down, and again, slide the pinkies under the thighs. Stabilize the lower back, extend through the right leg, and gently lift from the back of the thigh. You can stay here, or you can slowly start to bend your knee. You would bend maybe on the inhale, and then straighten on the exhale. Moving at your own pace. And then extending through that right leg and slowly lowering down. And once the right leg touches the floor, pause for a moment and notice. And then stabilize the lower back as we extend through the left leg, grow the leg long, and then lift from the back of the thigh. Good, you can stay here, or you can add the knee bending here by inhaling as you bend the knee, exhaling as you straighten the knee, or vice versa. Just, I would like for you to try and coordinate the movement with the breath. Good, and then straightening the leg, extending as you lower down, taking a moment to pause and notice. And then I'd like for us to move through Cobra. So bring your hands under the shoulders. And again, stabilize the lower back. And as you inhale, lift the chest and the hands off of the floor. Now, place the hands on the floor. And like we did in Sphinx, isometrically pull the floor back as you pull the heart forward and then begin to press up. Noticing that your lower back is stabilized. So you're lengthening the tailbone down or you're pressing that pubic bone into the floor. Don't forget to breathe. And then as you exhale, slowly lower down and press back into child's pose. Walk your hands over to the right and begin to sit into your left hip, breathing into the left side body. And then walking through center, walking the hands through center, over to the left, sitting into the right hip this time, and breathing into the right side body. Good, and then come back to center, slowly sit up, and we're going to change how we're seated. And so bring your feet forward, bend the knees, place the feet flat on the floor, sit up nice and tall as you reach the arms strong out in front of you. Begin to lean back enough to where you feel the core is engaged, but there's no tension in the face, no tension in the neck, and that you can still breathe. Good, and then slowly come all the way down. And I want you to cross your right foot over your left knee. If it's available to you, I want you to reach through and grab behind the left thigh. You can lift the foot off of the floor. Good, and then we're gonna switch legs. So now crossing the left foot over the right knee. If it's available to you, you can reach through and grab behind the right thigh, allowing the right foot to come up off of the floor. Some people like to hug their head up towards their knees. Some people like to keep their head rested on the floor. Good, and then release. Hug both knees up to the chest. And I want you to roll over to the right side. Take your left hand straight up and allow that arm to open out to the left. Deepen the breath. It's almost like you're wringing yourself out like a wet dish rag. Good, and then bring that arm back up. Hug the knees as you roll through center and roll over to the left side. Take your right arm straight up and allow that arm to open out to the right. And as you deepen the breath on this side, maybe noticing any slight difference from this side from the last. And then bringing the arm up and hugging the knees, rolling back to center, hugging the knees into the body, gently rocking side to side, and then laying flat out for relaxation. You can allow the feet to gently fall open. Roll the shoulders so that your palms are facing up. And then I'd like for you to inhale through your nose and exhale twice as long through the mouth and see if you can get a little heavier. And again, inhale through the nose, exhaling twice as long through the mouth, trying to become even heavier. And do this a couple of more times. And resting in quiet relaxation. You're welcome to stay in relaxation as long as you'd like. If you need to pause this video, go ahead and do so. But those who are ready to release relaxation, rolling onto the right side, and then coming up to a seated position. Bring your hands to your heart center, closing the eyes, and bowing the head down to the heart, taking this opportunity to acknowledge your practice and the time that you've spent on the mat today, keeping yourself healthy. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.